Things really are changing, and not just for pop stars and women. A revolution is taking place on the high street too. Men are adapting the clothes of their dads to create an altogether more provocative look that sometimes left little to the imagination and was always a break with the past.
Up until about 1970, everybody I knew, including me, had cropped hair and a really pared down sort of skinhead look. Very precise, very Ivy League and neat. Suddenly, and I can remember it happening, suddenly I saw a guy walking down the street with big feather cut hair. He looked like he was upside down. He had big wide Oxford bag trousers on in some lurid colour, and it was an absolute transformation.
The whole business of men having more and more choice became more and more obvious.
Certainly with sort of the colour, the shape, fabrics and texture, there was a huge change in the way men dressed, and they became more experimental with their body.
Exposing and highlighting the contours of a man's body becomes the norm in traditional men's tailoring too.
You'd have very wide shoulders, very wide lapels, patch pockets, very tight trousers which were quite sexual, flaring. I mean, this would be exemplified on Savile Row by Tommy Nutter, who was very much a sort of showbiz tailor.
Kids from my estate wouldn't be going to Savile Row, but they would be going to shops in the West End like Lord John and Take 6 that did a just about, if you really saved up, affordable version of this.
Mates, Take 6, Lord John, they were going national. They were moving out of their London base. They were bringing a kind of fast fashion element of for menswear right across the country.
Every time I hear chanson, chanson d'amour.
So we talked a little bit about the kind of sexualisation in fashion in this decade, and that's put me off sex a bit, some of those, to be completely honest. What was it like at the time? I mean, were people really kind of walking around dressed like that? Terry, did you ever done anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to go to Granny Takes a Trip. You know, they'd make you powder blue cowboy suits and velvet pinstripe suits. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Why was it that choice for men sort of exploded in that way? Was it something to do with, like, the sort of decline of made-to-measure?
I don't know if it was the decline of made-to-measure. I mean, men were prepared to wear it.
Yeah.
I think it was a chance for men to dress up.
You only have to look at second-hand shops today, and the 70s menswear, the matching shirts with the matching, a bit like a 70s version of what you've got, don't sell. Don't sell it. Young people find it too extreme.
They are extreme, but everybody thinks about flares and the width of the bottom, but really it's like the tightness of around the bum and the crotch. People wouldn't wear that now.
And you'll find it, you know, vintage fashion is obviously massive, and yet it's been massive for a long time, and yet the boys, the men especially, girls will wear 70s, but the men especially will go 50s, 60s, they'll buy 40s, 50s, 60s, they'll miss the 70s, they'll buy 80s. Yeah. It's just too much.
Because like was Andrew saying, it's a kind of dandyism almost, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember, you know, for every Christmas we'd buy my stepdad, Peter, a bright coloured shirt with a kind of either an exact matching tie or a contrast tie, and you look back at pictures of him now with his, and he was the manager of a plastics factory, and he'd go to work with flares on and a shirt ensemble, and you'd think, you know, nowadays, well, you'd probably get nutty.